Hello and welcome to my channel, a channel where we make structural engineering design simple and easy. My name is Olodu Konyedi and I'm your host. I want to say a very big thank you to everyone who has subscribed to this channel, everyone who has been asking a lot of important questions and sending encouraging words. We want to say a big thank you, and those who are yet to subscribe, please hit that subscribe button. Today we'll be talking about how to create structural slab beam layout. How do you create your structural drawing from scratch? From the architectural drawing, that is what we'll be looking at. So for the structural work, the first file you get, or the first drawing you get, will be the architectural plan of this building. So we are having as raw as it is, just got it from the architect. So we'll be working with a real life projects that I'm working on. So normally this is what the architect will send to you. This is the typical example of what the architect is going to send to you. So how do you go about it? That is what we'll be doing. So please pay attention. Then if you have any question, feel free to drop that question or your comment. I will be glad to answer you. So normally the first thing I always do if I get a drawing like this, the first thing is I'll check. Let's assume if there are no no axis line. Let's assume no axis line. If the architect gives you something like this, the first thing you need to do is to create your axis line. But for us here, this architect has already input the axis line. So the first thing you need to do, if your structure doesn't have axis line, is to create the axis line. But if they do, like mine, beautiful. The next thing you need to do is to create column position. And normally you create your column position by clicking on polylines. So we click here, we'll do 230. We are doing a 230 column, 230 by 230 by 230. That is what we'll do. We'll say C to close. So now we've gotten our column. But if you look carefully, the column, what we've done, the color and this one, they are the same. So you may not know which is column. So the next thing you do is to change this color. If that will change it, I prefer blue most time because this is already white. Then we increase the thickness so that you can differentiate your column from every other one. Then there are times when you click on the line width to bring it out if it's not there. So with this, we've gotten our column. We create our center line. So now we have gotten our column. So the first thing you do is to copy your column, take your center line. We get our center line and we'll come here. We introduce it here at the places we hope to place our columns, starting with the ground floor. You start at the ground floor, Please pay attention, this is very important. So like I'll keep placing my columns in places where I hope the columns to be. I'm hoping my columns to be here. So you place these columns on your ground floor. That's the first thing you do. Now we've done it, and normally how I space my column, I try to space my column at 3 meter, 3.5 max 4 meter. Then if it's going above 4 to 5 meter, try to break that span. That is me typically, because of most time when you do design, you may not be on site to ensure that what you've designed, people on site are doing it. So you try to design based on safety majorly, that whatever they do, it will stand. So normally I will add columns here to break this span. This is almost 5.1 meter. Normally I will break, that is what I do personally, I will break the span. So I will do that and break the span. I'll break the span. That is what I'll do. But you can as well leave it like that, but for me, I like breaking my span if it's above going to 5 meter. I'll break. But if I'll be the one to supervise it, then I can play with the length. So now we've done this, then there's something I want us to pay attention. Our columns here, all of them should be on the column layout. All your columns should be on your column layout. Very important. This is the reason why I said that, so that if you click on select, it automatically selects all the column on that layout. So once you've done this on the ground floor, this is our ground floor, this is our first floor, this is our second floor. If you look at the grid lines, this is grid line 1 by L, grid line 1 by L. Pay attention, grid line 1 by L, 1 by L, 1 by L. So I will copy this column from grid line. Depending on why I'm picking it from here is because it's correspond to all the floors. So I come here, I drop it here, I come here and I drop it here. So with this, what I will do, I will look at my first floor. This column, normally how I do it, this column terminates here, because you don't need your column coming out of your bedroom. So we keep looking, all the others are. Then this column here is disturbing this window here. You either speak with your architect. If he can move the windows, fine, but if not, you will have to move your columns. If you look carefully here, this one is okay, and this one, so like we have to identify all the columns that are bulging out. This is how you come to this part. All this you pay attention. Later we'll come to this. We can move this. Look at this, and we look at this. We look at this. we look at. Good. So if we look at this, then we observe that this column, this column, this column are all terminating at the first floor. The base, the surface of the first floor, it won't budge, it won't continue. So where you see this triangle means the column will terminate here. So if we come back here, what is there anything we could do to prevent this? If there is nothing we can do, then we'll have to leave it that way. Or if we can move it forward, if it will not affect, we could move this and this forward if it does not affect. Anyone that does not affect, we can move it forward. So let's do this. We can pick on all okay, let's do this. We could do this. Let's pick on all this, all this. Let's pick on all this. Let's move it back to the ground floor. Come back to ground floor. So this and this, they are all terminating at the first floor. So meaning they are only coming up to this part and terminating. Some of them will come to this part and terminate here. They are not continuing. So is there a way, if there's a way we could move this upward or downward that it will not affect anything? Like this, we could move it up a bit, but this other one, if we move it up, it may affect this window. So that is how you do. You keep arranging it in such a way that it doesn't affect. Like if we come here now, let's change this color so that you don't get confused. Let's change it to green. So this, let's click on this and we click on, which is this. So if we now move, if we move this, which is still this, if we move this is how you do. You just keep playing with it until you get. If we move this now, let's move this from here to here. So we've done that, and let's look at, so with this now, we know if we introduce our column here, it will protrude from here all through without being stopped by this. So we could do that. So with this, but if on this level it is still being obstructed by the window, so what we do is, now we've solved this one. Now let's try moving this, so that if we move this, let's change this color, let's give it another color, let's say yellow. Let's give it yellow. Let's try and move it to C. Let's move it. So if we move it out, If we move it out, let's see, even when we move it out, we are still having the column bulging through the windows. So but in terms of windows, we could either discuss with the architect so that they move their windows. They can move the windows so that they could move their windows. So if they move their windows, then we can proceed with that. Like here, they could either shift this window this way or move it the other way. So this can be discussed with the architect, and we can solve that problem. So on this, we could do this. Okay, there's something I want us to pay attention. Normally the column, we move it step by step. We finish ground and first floor. Whatever column that we've achieved, we'll now move it to this last floor. That is what we will do. That is what we will do. Let's do that for now. So let's remove all the columns from the second floor. Let's finish with these two floors first. So we can do this. Click. Let's work with these two. Which is this. And this. So we move it to this point, so that what we are trying to do is that our column should be hidden inside the wall. When we do this, this is what we will achieve. So if we do this now, this, we can hide this column inside this wall. This is a 150 wall, so a bit will budge, or they can create a 230 wall, so that can fly. So that is what we will do. So if we've achieved that, we could take out this. We could take out this. Based on discussion with the architect, we can still take out this. Can take out this. So this is how we create column. This is how we create our columns. And once we've done that, next thing you need to do is to put your axis line, like what I said. Very important. Our axis line. Our axis line should be placed here. Very important. Yeah. So this is it. Axis lines are very important, so they have to be placed. You should put your axis line. Very important. So with this, we have we can conclude from our ground floor which one is terminating. And what I normally like to do is to get all the columns with same colors. So the ones that will be terminating, those are the ones who will change their color. So now if all these are terminating at this floor, let's change the ones terminating at the first floor. Let's change their colors to yellow, all their colors to yellow. So anyone that will be terminated, so that you can easily see what you are doing. So right now we have 3 columns that are terminating at the first floor. 3 columns that will be terminating at the first floor. So what we'll do next now is to copy the columns from our first floor and superimpose them on our second floor. So the ones that we still terminate at the second floor, we know. So that is what we will do. We will copy it now. Let's highlight and copy. Right click, select all. So it will automatically copy all. Then we remove the ones that will be terminating at that floor. That will be terminating at that floor. It's a bit rigorous, but once you understand the principle, if you can understand the principle, this is it. This is how we do. So that when you are talking about your design, you should allow the architects and the clients understand that you know what you are doing and it's time consuming. So they should be able to pay for your knowledge and the time you are inputting into this, because most of the client thinks it's just paper. How many sheets of paper you are bringing? No, this is experience. You are trying to make their work safe and easy for people on site to do it. You are doing the brain work, so they should appreciate you for that. So when you do that, now we've done that, if you now look carefully, you now find out that on this level we have so many of them terminating at this floor, terminating at this floor. All this window thing, we could talk to the architect to either shift their window. If not, we'll know what to do. So what do we do here? Let's copy these are triangles and see the numbers of them that are terminating. This so all these are terminating at the second floor. So let's change these colors. Let's change it to green. Let's change it to green. Let's change these colors to green. So this is how you create your column. So with this, okay, there's still one more. On this one, okay, you can still talk to your architect if they can shift the door. If they can shift the door, beautiful. So this is it. we could, same principle, copy out all this again. So what we'll do now is to create these ones that are terminating this triangle. Let's try to change the colors to green too. Then we highlight all of them. Let's copy them out. We'll copy. So with this, all of them, so that this is the second floor, we have to superimpose it on your first floor. That's how you do, so that you know the columns that we terminate at which position. So at what position. So this is, you can now copy, take your reference point here, click, and we click here. So when we click here, we find out that this one, this and this, they are all terminating at the second floor soffit. They are not getting to the roof. So once you've done that, you've seen this, now the ones getting to the roof, you still have to create your column. Like presently now, as we are looking at this area, there are no columns here. So it is your responsibility to introduce columns here, and you superimpose it and see where it terminates at this floor. So what we could do is to maybe introduce columns at our first floor, that we get to this part and pick it up. Like we need columns here, we need columns around here, which this will surface. So this is how we do now. Let's say we get this column. Let's see how it will work. We'll pick this column, we introduce here, and we will terminate this video here because it's getting a bit long. I don't want it to be too long. So, but I hope we understood what we're doing. We talked about creating structural layouts. Or this is the process. The first thing you need to create from your structural layout. We'll have more videos on creating it, but this part one is how to create your column position. This is just the part one. We'll do more parts until we complete it. So with this, we can introduce this. We can introduce these columns. So let's see it. So this part one of it is how to introduce columns. So we are doing that. So when we do this, we find out that these are the places this one fell in, which is, so this we can do with it. This we could either we talk to the architect, or we may choose to move it. So it all depends. We may choose to move it. So the last thing we'll do here before we end this video is to introduce the column that will start at the second floor and ends at the roof. So we can copy this to here. Let's just copy. We can put one here, let's do that. And we change the color. Let's change the color to red. Let's change our color. Let's change the color. Let's change this color to red so that we can differentiate it. And we copy it to we can copy it to this place. Let's copy it here. Let's copy it here, and let's see, we copy here. Let's see if we copy here. We can copy there and see. Okay, let's copy here and we'll copy here, so we can we can rearrange it. So please, you may take your time to do this work. It's rigorous. It's really rigorous. So when you are pricing your clients, when you are pricing your work, you should know what you are pricing, because it's really rigorous work that you'll be doing. So we copy it here and transfer it downward to just see. We'll transfer it downward, and this, once we transfer it here, we end. So this is where your columns from your second floor would be. So I will end the video here. We'll do the next part, the part 2, part 3, until we conclude this series of creating your slab and beam layer. This, if you can get this right, then your analysis and design will be very easy to do. So with this, I will say we've come to the end of the video. So please subscribe to my channel, and if you are yet to subscribe, please subscribe, and those who are subscribed, we really appreciate you. Until we come again next time, remain blessed. Time.